Into the Fanfare newsfeed.
Well, welcome to what is today? Wednesday evening. Thank you guys for coming on. I heard some people say I wasn't on Rumble tonight, but I am most assuredly broadcasting on Rumble, and I'm also broadcasting on X, just using a different software in the dashboard tonight, trying to do a couple of things differently. But we're here, my board is working, and yes, I do have actually two bits of breaking news. So it's a good thing we didn't wait and stay live while we were waiting to see if President Trump was going to do the executive orders video, because he did. He just signed it, and now we know what it was. Boom, breaking. President Trump has just signed an executive order launching DOGE's cost efficiency initiative, giving DOGE a much bigger mandate. All agencies, all 499 or however many more survive at this point, every government agency must immediately review all grants and contracts. Every agency must justify and publicly disclose all employee expenses. Every agency must, and I love this one, must assign a DOGE liaison to collaborate with agency heads. So DOGE is going to, you get to go ahead and sign a person, but we're going to have someone in your agency. Oh boy. Every agency must build a centralized technological system within the agency to seamlessly record every payment. Read that again. Every agency in the United States government must build a centralized technological system within their agency to seamlessly record every payment. That means heads are exploding all over Washington right now. I don't know how they didn't see this one coming, but this one, that last part, build a system to record every single payment, which, I don't know, every business in America has. I mean, I don't know a single business that doesn't have at least Quicken. And so now you're going to have to build your own little system, which I'm sure Elon and Big Bulls are going to provide you with and say, here's the platform, use this, and record every single payment you make. If you got to change the water bottle out and get some new spring water, you record it. If you need some more pencils and you want to call Office Depot, you record it. Like any business would. In fact, any household. You write a check, you put it in the ledger. This is going to change the United States government forever. Despite Democrat whining, DOGE is not only, they're not going away, they're digging deeper and deeper into the federal government. You think this guy's worried about these rogue judges? I'm venturing to say right now, Donald Trump does not care about these rogue judges. He is pushing further and further and further, and they can all run to court all they want. That's not going to be something that they can even put in a lawsuit. My boss told me I have to account for everything I spend, and I think he's being mean. That's how they sound. And so at this point, every single dime that goes out of, I can't even believe we're having to say this. It is February 26, 2025. And today, we're trying to tell people in a government agency, you have to account for every dime you spend. Which, to me, is like agency economics 101. Think about it. How could you be writing checks, cashing checks, using a business credit card, doing all these things with no accountability whatsoever? It should not be going out from the Treasury Department. You've got a budget. Manage your budget. Show us you can manage a budget and make sure everything is written down. This is huge, and it shouldn't be. This should be matter of fact. This should be something that everybody simply goes, oh, I get it. Yeah, you mean my mom does and my dad do, and, who doesn't? account for their income and their income and outgoing expenses. Who is it in this country who gets money, even if it's a paycheck, working the counter at Starbucks, who doesn't account for, I got this much in my account, I think I can afford a new pair of sneakers. And then you can check your bank balance and you can see which things come in. Who doesn't have that? Your government. Your government has been working without a ledger, obviously. That should scare the hell out of you. It should scare the bejeebus out of you. And then President Trump has to come in and go, hey guys, can we at least use a ledger? I don't care if you use it in hieroglyphics. Write it down. Do whatever you need to do. Well, actually, no. You got to use a centralized technological system. Every single day, I wake up and I go, this is getting to be monotonous, Barry. But then Trump does something and you're like, no, it's not monotonous at all. It's all common sense, as he's been saying. I don't know how Democrats can complain about this. They look stupid. So I've got some things I want to show you. I got another bit of old breaking news. This one came out earlier while we were doing our earlier show. And I want you to see this because this is also stunning. Let me bring up the right window so you can see this. Where's my right window? Okay. We are hereby reversing the concessions that crooked Joe Biden gave to Nicolas Maduro of Venezuela on the oil transaction agreement dated November 26, 2022, and also having to do with electoral conditions within Venezuela, which have not been met by the Maduro regime. Additionally, the regime has not been transporting the violent criminals, the trade and trace leches guys, that they sent into our country, the good old USA, back to Venezuela at the rapid pace they had agreed to. I am therefore ordering that the ineffective and unmet Biden concession agreement be terminated as of the March 1st option to renew. Thank you for your attention to this matter. So, Maduro didn't hold up to his end of the bargain, and Trump's canceling it, which means Chevron is screwed. Either do what I tell you, or you're going to feel it. I mean, it sounds like what my mom used to say to me. If you don't do, you will feel. And he's letting them know in no uncertain terms, I ain't got time for your BS. Now, this next bit of breaking news before I get into the DOGE stuff, this proves to you how bad things globally really are. It proves to you how all of these agencies, nonprofits, people who are giving us a hard time, people who are trying to rule our lives, especially over the last couple years, completely depend upon America, and without America, they cease to exist. Like this one. The WHO, Ted over there, who was telling us that we need to lock down and do all kinds of crazy things. He was ready to rule the world. We were going to submit to the WHO under Biden. The WHO is on the brink of collapse. The global health body is facing unprecedented crisis. They ain't got no money. The World Health Organization is reportedly nearing collapse as internal instability, funding shortfalls, and growing distrust from member states threaten its future. With mounting criticism over politicization, mismanagement, and failed responses, the organization is struggling to maintain its authority. Good. Can you imagine we were ceding our authority to an agency overseas who we were funding to tell us how we should live, who was ready to do anything they possibly could to take your business from you, to make you stay in a house, to do all these different things, and you were paying them to do that. It was coming out of your pocket that allowed this agency and his buddy over there, Klaus Schwab with the WEF, it allowed them to take action against America. I can't think of a bigger mind flick than that. You're taking my money. The only way you exist is to take my money. And then you turn around in your big offices and everything else that I'm paying for and tell me I can't even go to the beach. Which didn't work down here. It didn't work down here at all. But you saw what happened in California. They were burying skate parks. They had bulldozers putting sand into the skate parks and telling people, no, you can't go skating. Why? I'm going to get sick from the dirt or the... They went that far. On your money. And now this agency, you can call it, is now out of money. That quick. This is why the Democrats are screaming. This is why they are absolutely losing their mind and have nothing to offer the Americans, because their plan of global rule has completely collapsed in front of them. The only way they could do what they wanted to do is to make sure that these foreign entities could tell us what to do. And meanwhile, we're going to go ahead and give them the money to make sure that they go ahead and impose their will on Americans. And our president and vice president just stood back and went, do what you need to do. Tell us what to do. And you were paying for it. Thank God President Trump got elected. I mean, it's absolutely insane what they were planning and almost getting to the point of doing. I hope you guys all can understand how close we really, really were from losing our country. And right now, as you know, as I do some of these interviews and I'm talking to some of these people, it's amazing as you hear some of these politicians talk. And the reason why I'm doing these interviews is because I want to see who's there. What kind of person is there in Washington? Do we have a bunch of Marjorie Taylor Greenes, a bunch of Nancy Maces, a bunch of Byron Donalds, or do we have a bunch of limp-wristed guys who aren't really going to get in the fight? And you can make up your own mind as you hear them. But now that you know who some of them are, and we're going to continue to bring them on. I love what you guys said in the poll. Thank you very much. Ashley's doing a great job. And I need you to speak to these people. Wherever you live. You know, the thing is, I think sometimes people feel like if I don't live in a certain state, that guy's not representing me, so should I even worry? Yes. You should contact everybody. And keep up the pressure. Keep it going. I know it's hard. Trust me. With what I do, I know it's hard. It's sometimes I have to drag myself off the lounge chair outside and go, time to make a video. And I know what it feels like. But we're winning. You can just see what these Democrats are doing. You can see how the media is reacting. And you know we're winning. You just have to look. Now, something else happened before I get into the meat of the show, which is really, really disturbing. And it's going to piss off a whole bunch of you. I don't have the answer. Don't know why this is happening, but it's happening. So Anna Paulina Luna is out there trying to, make it happen and get the Epstein files released. And the DOJ has officially halted release of the client list. They did not give a date when they would release it. Not sure why they just don't release it in accordance with President Trump's executive order. And Anna Paulina said, my office just received a formal response from the DOJ on those files. And people are asking, I don't understand why Pam Bondi can't go into the SCIF and download all the documents herself or anything in the intelligence silo. How come Tulsi Gabbard is not doing the same? Same thing with Bongino and Kash Patel. Why wouldn't they be releasing this stuff? And everyone's freaking out. And I'm telling you right now, we'll have General Flynn on next week. Please, 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 hope nothing bumps us. And I also want to get a hold of some lawyers out there. Maybe Viva Fry can talk to us. But there's only one reason I could see why those documents and files are not being released right now. Only one reason. I hope it's the right reason. I hope this is the reason. Because if this is the reason, you're going to be happier that the files didn't get released. You see, the only thing that makes sense to me, with everything that Donald Trump said, with everything that Kash Patel said, with everything that Dan Bongino said, there's only one reason. And that reason is there's an investigation going on. Those are now evidence. Before they were archives. Those were just files on a computer somewhere. Those were archives that we're going to go ahead and release, and you guys can make up your own mind. And perhaps, I can't say for sure, but perhaps Pam Bondi or Kash or Dan Bongino or a collection of U.S. attorneys, somebody might have seen something or some things and said, we have the elements right here of a crime. Crimes. Lots of crimes. Perhaps that's the reason why they're not releasing it, because it's evidence. Understand it. That's the only thing I can think of. I'll talk to you guys and you tell me what you think, but I'm thinking at this point, that's it. There'd be no other reason. I mean, maybe the JFK stuff you can go ahead and give away, because most of those people are probably, whoever may have been involved is no longer here. I mean, it was 50 years ago. But the other stuff, those people are still around, most of them, for the time being, until we start seeing, I don't know, certain things happening. But that's what my feeling is. I'd love to know if you guys think there's a lot of people out there, who are probably pooping in their pants, going, oh no, they've opened an investigation, haven't they? They're going to be starting to dig, aren't they? Yeah. I mean, then you may think to yourself, well, if there's nobody still alive from the JFK days, why aren't they releasing that file? Well, the investigation may be against a couple three-letter agencies. And it may have Tulsi Gabbard involved and a guy who's been a complete ghost, who I keep mentioning his name, and you never see him, John Ratcliffe. So, I don't know. I am as stumped as you are as to why these files aren't out there. And so it made me start thinking, what would be the reason not to disclose this information? And the only reason I could come up with why this information wasn't being disclosed was because it's evidence at this point. Not an archive, it's evidence. Meaning, maybe charges are imminent. Let's see here. That's it. Plus all the victims, their names, contact them to keep their names out of it. Yeah, there's a lot of stuff may be in there. A lot of stuff. Bongino starts May 15th. 14th is his last show. So many will be uncovered. The files have crimes with them. So or did the FBI destroy the files? That would also be a crime. So even if they caught the FBI or CIA or whatever, three letters doing something, and they were destroying files, that's a crime as well. But trust me, and trust yourself, you know, somebody somewhere has duplicate and triplicate of these files. It wasn't just one guy who had the original and it's feeding it into the shredder. That ain't happening. I'm pretty sure well before Pam Bondi got into office, that stuff was locked down real quick. There was a post on X that said Pam Bondi said they would be on Friday, February 27th. I have not seen that post, nor would I put credence into it, because the 27th is tomorrow, which is Thursday. So, A lot of people. Would you guys want me to put slow mode on? Let me go ahead and put slow mode on. I see people saying it's going too fast. So in any essence, there's obviously something going on. And just to get, I mean, if the mods could let everybody know, because SV's not here tonight, we are not blocking you. I just put slow mode on so you can only only comment every 30 seconds. But there's so much to speculate on because the fact of the matter, it's not going out. And the letter itself, I'll put it on the screen. I'm not sure if you'll be able to read it. Here, let me go ahead and move that comment so you guys can read it yourself if it's big enough. Where are we? Okay. And it just says, the Honorable Anna Paulina Luna, thanks for your letter in the Department of Justice, February 11th, yada, yada. We are sending an identical response to the other member who joined your letter. In your letters, you requested briefings about any documents in the department's possession in relating to the investigation and prosecution of that guy who I can't really say his name. Hopefully you guys can see it so I don't have to say it. But regarding that guy and about the declassification of records regarding the assassinations of JFK, RK, and MLK, pursuant to Executive Order 14176, you also requested written confirmation of the date and location of those records' release. And this is where he tells them, sorry, but not sorry. The integrity of criminal investigations and prosecutions is essential to every component of the department's mission to uphold the rule of law. Keeping our nation safe and protecting civil rights, the department remains committed to meeting its legal record-keeping obligation as it pursues that mission. We are reviewing your request and look forward to engaging further to accommodate your oversight and legislative needs. Yada, yada, yada. Patrick Davis, Principal Deputy Assistant Attorney General. What you want to pay attention to as you see that, as you read that, is that line which says the integrity of criminal investigations. So I see people posting on X going, oh, they're not going to release. I'm like, dude, read the letter. Read the letter. There's a blinking neon sign in that letter that tells you what may indeed be happening. That closing paragraph, the integrity of criminal investigations. That is the first time we have an actual indication that something ain't right. That there may indeed now be a criminal investigation that's going on in relation to those files. So I may be crazy. Maybe I'm too much of an optimist. Maybe I believe in President Trump too much. But that's the only reason I can find, again, I'm not an attorney, some of you may be, for that not to be released. Something is going on. They're not looking to protect anybody. We're way past the point of feelings. There's a criminal there's a criminal investigation going on. Sounds like they're investigating the crimes. President Trump's team is still coming in. General Flynn just let the cat out the bag. It's what's it say? Arrest begins James Comey. The list is probably out, but with the names begin to be released that come with crooks. Yeah, I think we need to just. Why do you always say that? Why do people say this stuff? Oh, okay, move on. You can move on. But that's what I believe. I believe at this point, I think you guys can see that as you read that letter. I think we just need to pump our brakes, give them time. They've been in office a month, and then let's see what happens. That being said, I can't wait. I can't wait till they get to the point where they actually do that stuff. All right, so now I'm going to move into DOGE, because DOGE is really important. What you're seeing right now is something that we haven't seen in this country ever. And I got to show you some things tonight that are really going to, if you haven't seen them, I mean, you've seen the surface level, you've seen the hearings, but I'm going to try and introduce you guys to something really, really deep into, and I kind of introduced you guys a couple weeks ago, but take a listen.
USAID.
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 The USAID was a slush fund for left-wing projects around the globe.
That's a fraud. The whole thing is a fraud. Very little being put to good use.
This was being done and all this money was being spent while they were denying money to people that clearly needed it.
All too often, only cents on the dollar actually makes it to people in need.
My uncle started USAID in 1961 for humanitarian purposes to put our country on the side of the poor. It has been captured by the military-industrial complex. It has become a sinister propagator of totalitarianism and war across the globe.
The U.S. government funded the creation of the virus that caused the global pandemic.
$1.5 million to advance DEI in Serbia's workplaces.
Gender surgeries around the world.
$2 million for sex change surgeries in Guatemala. $4.8 million for social media influencers in Ukraine.
Diversity, equity, and inclusion policy.
Where is that money going?
It was funded by taxpayer dollars.
These are taxpayer dollars.
USAID, we're working against you, funding your opposition indirectly, and really trying to subvert democracy in your country.
USAID doesn't really do, and the CIA don't do democracy.
That the USAID and the CIA helped orchestrate Trump's impeachment?
Well, it's been run by a bunch of radical lunatics, and we're getting them out.
I don't know about you, but as an American taxpayer, I don't want my dollars going towards this crap, and I know the American people don't either.
It's actually worse than that. As you've seen those snippets of President Trump and other people talking and they're mentioning these things, now, what's not bubbling up to the surface that you actually have to dig is where you're going to find some of the information that really makes your head spin. The other day I mentioned to you guys that Nancy Pelosi got $14 or $20 million for her vineyard. That's not even overseas. That's here in the United States. She got $20 million for her vineyard. And as these things are being peeled back, you can tell the Democrats have no defense for it. The hearing today was ridiculous. Marjorie Taylor Greene and the witnesses are talking, and all the Democrats could say is, don't tell me, I don't want to hear it. This is false. It's not real. It's fake. Because they don't want to hear the truth. Because the truth here reveals something that they can't respond from. And I don't believe they can recover from. Watch this. Did you know as I mentioned about the WHO, at least they're not an enemy. What if you knew that your government was funding your enemy?
Hey everybody, it's been fast paced and I keep coming to you with what we're doing, and today I've got a number. I got some big news for you. And look, this is why we talk about efficiency and getting the job done for veterans here at the VA. Right now, I've just been told we are just the first step of almost $2 billion, that's billion with a B, that we found in contracts that are cutting. Those are things that we're saving now that we can put back into healthcare, benefits, making sure that we're doing what the VA is supposed to do, and that is health and veterans benefits. Stands to reason. But hey, you got to see this. I've been given this report. It says we were taking millions of contracts in dollars in contracts to create things like PowerPoint slide and meeting minutes. Folks, if you don't know how to run PowerPoint slides, learn. It's a tutorial on your computer. Go learn for free. It's okay. Take your own notes. Wow, I'll send you one of my pencils if you need one, but we're not paying millions of dollars for consultants to do this for us. Also, I found out coaching and training. Millions of dollars in contracts for coaching and training. If you need coaching and training, that's what you have in a supervisor. And if your supervisor can't coach you and train you in their job, then I tell you what, let me know. I'll come help you. We'll be ready to go. And also this last one kills me. It was millions of dollars for executive support. I love you and I support you, but we can figure out how to do things on our own. We don't need outside people coming in to help us with executive support. Look, these are they're going to be more coming. This is going to have some details that are going to be coming out for you. And also, there's more contracts coming. So this is just the first of all, right at $2 billion. We got almost there. There's going to be more coming. But let me let you know, don't feed the line of what DC's wanting to tell you. We are putting money back to veterans' health, back to veterans' benefits. And don't let nameless sources even senators and House members who want to scare you and media who want to perpetuate the line, we're taking care of the veterans. I promise you that from day one.
So many of you are like me and like Robin. We know people who are veterans. We have older relatives that are veterans. And one of the things that has always driven me crazy about veterans, I've mentioned before, is that you have to drive 30, 40 miles or longer to get to a VA hospital instead of just being able to walk in any hospital. Meanwhile, these crooks in these agencies, and by the way, that was Doug Collins, former, I think he was congressman from Georgia, who's now the director of the Veterans Administration, has found $2 billion in waste. Can't say fraud yet. They're still trying to figure out where this money went. But $2 billion in waste. I put an asterisk because, like he said, we haven't dug all the way through. You don't have to be a mathematical genius to just think to yourself, what could $2 billion have done for some of the veterans in this country? You're spending millions of dollars on PowerPoint slides. First of all, if I knew you were creating a PowerPoint slide, I would fire you. If you're using a PowerPoint slide a presentation in 2025, you are telling me you have no skills. I'm sorry if some of you guys may use PowerPoint 2025, but I have told people who work for me 3 or 4 years ago, don't ever show me a PowerPoint slide. Don't do it. Unless, of course, you're going to do your PowerPoints like, Steve Jobs did. I remember telling somebody that once. They're like, what do you mean? I'm not here to read the screen. You ever go to see a PowerPoint slide and they pack it with all kinds of text and it's basically a book and they expect you to be like reading and the font's like 5 and you're like, what the hell are you telling me? You should know your stuff. I don't need to read a manual on a screen. Steve Jobs, in case you don't know, when he would make his PowerPoint presentations, there might be like 2 words behind him, think big, and a picture. Because he wanted you to listen to him, not be looking like this trying to read a screen all the way up at the front of the room where the font looks like that. PowerPoints are so outdated and we're spending millions and millions and millions of dollars on them. And then you're spending millions of dollars on people that come in and be like support animals because how do you get along with your boss? Come on. I knew we were in trouble when I saw an article years ago where people needed nap time. Actually, you could have thought years ago when people stopped keeping score in little kid games because it might hurt their feelings because they might lose. And now you're seeing what's happened from there because now these people are adults. They don't know how to react in the real world and they need counselors to deal with their boss. Millions. Meanwhile, we got veterans killing themselves to the tune of 22 people per day and others that are sleeping on the street, and we're spending $2 billion on garbage. That alone should get so many people fired. I'm telling you. Let's continue.
I want to thank my good friend Sean Ryan over in Middle Tennessee, Nashville, Franklin area, and my buddy Legend for bringing this to my attention last year. None of this would have been possible without them. We've been talking about waste, fraud, and abuse lately in the media, in the DOGE committee, which the chair lady standing here beside me. And I don't think there's any better example than funding terrorists, if you can imagine that. These dadgum people can hate us for free, folks. And hope that's not an omen, but I think we're good. I was working on the bill at the end of 2023 that would address these concerns we had with the Afghanistan Central Bank. This got taken to Sean Ryan and Legend, and we figured out that we've got a lot bigger problems on our hand. Sean and Legend brought to our attention that at least $40 million per week, $40 million per week in taxpayer money is ending up in the hands of the Taliban, and then it's later being auctioned off. I only wanted to stop there because I love Tim Burchett, and we've had him on the show.
but I wanted you to grasp what he just said. $40 million per week is being given, or had been being given, to the Taliban. These people who would literally shoot every one of these people in the head if they had the chance, or worse, to the women. And we're giving them $40 million per week. We should find out whoever approved that and literally just walk them into a brig or someplace and get them out. Just stay here forever. You can't even face the American people. We don't even want you talking. But I got First Amendment rights. Not anymore. And just put some duct tape on them and put them in the Chateau d'If like the Count of Monte Cristo. Never, never, ever talk to another human. You were given $40 million to our enemy. In most definitions, that would be called treason. Who approved $40 million per week to go to the Taliban? I have never heard such nonsense. You're using my money and you're using your money. They were to people who don't want your American way of life to prosper. Their entire idea is to change you. Caliphate mean anything to you? And now as you sit back and go, wait a second, so these people are coming over here, blowing up places, doing crazy things, and the reason they can do it and move back around is because we're giving them the money. What kind of government would fund your enemy? Like I told the congressman earlier today, these people have more internal... I would lose it. I would absolutely I would scream at someone's head and say, what in the hell were you thinking? Why is it that you wanted to do this to America? How does it benefit you? You understand these same people that you're funding are smiling at you as they take the money, and they make you feel good. Oh, nice guy, nice guy. But at the same token, if you turn your back on them, they'd probably slit your throat. You're not making friends with these people. You're giving them our money so that they can do bad things against us, and they will find you. Look at the people in London. Look at the people in France. Look what's happening over there as it was inundated with people who don't want your way of life, who will take over. Maybe that's why they want to shut us up. They don't want you to know this.
Cash is flown by charter jets into Afghanistan. It's auctioned off to the Taliban in order to exchange it for the Afghan currency. From there, the Taliban will get it to the NGOs who have to pay taxes on that money. The NGOs have to be approved by the Taliban. And every time the NGOs spend the money, the Taliban will take a cut. When the money is exchanged for the Afghan currency, the Taliban take a cut. The Taliban also determine who can receive foreign aid. Most of the time, these people are either Taliban or Al-Qaeda.
Learn about crypto and get rewarded as you learn with Coinbase Learning Rewards. We've paid out over 100.
These people are the sworn enemies that hate Christians.
Sorry about that. I was making another video that kind of got in there. So, sorry about that.
And Jews and treat women like cattle. Why on earth are we allowing U.S. dollars to end up in their hands? Why this hasn't been brought to the floor yet is beyond me, and I hope we get to that. This has been going on since 2021. I raised the issue, as I said, in 2023.
Okay, stop there. So he just said something, and if Tim Burchett was here when we were doing an interview, this has been going on since 2021. We have been sending, you can do the math, $40 million a week for 4 years. And he said, he said something in 2023. So he found out about it in 2023 and said, hey, what are you guys doing? But it still continued. Why these people didn't understand? Why Tim Burchett? Why did you guys not scream it from the rooftops, get on X, and do what you're doing right now? Why? What? I don't understand. Maybe I forget when Elon bought X. Let me just make sure if that was the issue. Elon bought X. When did Elon buy Twitter? Before I give him a hard time. Elon didn't even buy Twitter until April of 2022. And then, of course, it probably took some time before he weeded out the nuts. So there was no place to complain. The media wasn't going to cover it. Facebook was going to delete it. Old Twitter would have banned you. That's why they want censorship. That's a perfect example right there. I know they're giving $40 million a week to the Taliban, and I can't tell anybody. You couldn't have a better example right there as to what was going on in this country. If Elon bought it in April of 2022, and I think it took him still a couple of months before he could weed out all the nuts. So there was no place to tell anybody. Even Fox. Hey, look what we found here. We found that they're giving $40 million a week to the Taliban. Sorry. Nope, you're not going to take it? So now I want you to imagine a time, or not a time, because you can see it right there. Imagine if that's how it was today. There was no X. These guys here were deleting anything you said that the government didn't like. Bam, nuked. And that's what they were trying to get back to. This was never supposed to see the light of day. You were never supposed to know. And $40 million a week, just in this one instance, was flying out the door. Thank God Elon bought Twitter.
Can you imagine what we could have done with $40 million a week since then? People in eastern Tennessee and western Carolina were sleeping in tents after Hurricane Helene until President Trump came on the scene. And we let this money go to terrorists. Think of that.
Brand new polling, which shows overwhelming support for the DOGE cuts. When asked if the U.S. federal government debt is unsustainable, 67% say, heck yeah, it is. It's unsustainable. 33%, nah, man, we got this. But when asked if DOGE is helping make major cuts in government expenditures, 60% say, heck yeah, it's helping. 40% say, no, it's not helping. And finally, when asked if DOGE should have access to the sensitive data, remember that one? 58% say, heck yeah, give them the access, compared to 42% who say, no, don't give them the access.
What are your thoughts?
So what you take away from, what do you take away from that? That tells me there's a core of Marxists and communists in this country that have grown to the point where, one, they want you shut up. They don't want you having any data. They don't even want DOGE having access to it. That core group of people, depending on if you believe polls or different numbers, there is a significant amount of people who are okay with, number one, taking your money, number two, taking it and giving it overseas, and number three, not letting anybody see what they're doing. Thankfully, the number is higher on the other side. Between the different polls he showed you, anywhere between 58 to 60 something are like, hey, this has got to end. It's unsustainable. And as I told you before, mathematically, that means there's a good portion of Democrats who are now opening their eyes and going, we got a problem here. We have a real problem. But the scary part is that there's still a core group of people. Don't know what they pay in taxes, if they pay in taxes. Are they commies? I don't know. But there's a group of people who are definitely okay with the government censoring you and taxing the hell out of you to fund other countries. That is scary. I mean, we just avoided something by getting rid of Kamala. But as you see, it's bubbling up again, and she's their front runner. I can't even imagine why they would want her as the front runner, but they do. It's goes way over my head. 42% of people probably don't work. Those who support with entitlements. Good point. Only God can take care of them. That core group is the Democrat Party. Communists, probably. Those people are not accepting DOGE, are probably not paying taxes. And the other thing with it is, college kids, what's that? The Canadian government has been at a standstill because liberals won't hand over the documents. Wow. Understand what we're looking at. We're looking at a group of people who are militant in nature, who want to take your money, who are completely okay with the government censoring you, keeping you quiet, doing whatever they need to do to continue their nefarious schemes in different places. And some of the stuff I'm going to show you tonight is just going to, you may have seen some of it, but we're going to talk about it because it's, you know, they used to say, I got to be careful here. Some people who used to read into that 17th letter folklore that was going on. Those of you who know what I'm talking about know exactly what I mean because you took the red pill. You obviously took that red pill. And in the core of that 17th letter missives that were posted and that the left continually made fun of was, you believe, these people who follow that 17th letter, they're such idiots. They think that there's some sort of giant cabal of Speedo wearers and, Satanists. They've kind of gotten quiet because more and more of this stuff comes out. It's like, you got to be kidding me. You're not accusing people of being conspiratorial anymore. What happened? Because now you just want to put it out there in the open. Before it was like, that guy in the 17th letter is saying stuff and we don't want people to know about it and we're going to make it zip, zip, zip and not let people talk about it and call them crazy. And now you're just putting it out in the open. You're not even scared of it anymore. Hey, yeah, we're going to have these people play this sport and they're going to do this and they're going to do the other thing. And we got secret chat rooms in the NSA and you're not even trying to hide it. So were those people wrong? Those people who decided at some point that they would take that red pill, are you now still saying they were crazy and conspiratorial and tinfoil hats? Because all the things we're seeing right now seem to be coming true. There are no coincidences. I've said it before. It's just stuff that we don't know, and now it's starting to be exposed, and people are, this is some dark stuff. This is some crazy dark stuff. All right, so we're going to continue with these people stealing your money.
On the critics of J.D. Vance.
All right, before I go there, okay, let me take a break because I want to introduce you to this woman. And now we're going to start digging deep into DOGE. If you don't know who she is, I'm praying that Ashley can get her on the show. I'm going to introduce you to her in 2 minutes. As you know, President Trump has assembled the Avengers to make America great again. And of course, we're all excited and ready to see them get to work. But with everything we're seeing right now, don't take your eye off the ball. Things could get much worse before they get better. With the possibility of World War III still looming, and with the Democrats doing everything they can to impede Trump, you still need to keep your guard up and your money protected. Oh, and our national debt is still massively increasing. Don't get me wrong, I have high hopes for Trump's America, but I also have a family to look out for. You see, Trump and the Avengers have quite the uphill battle ahead. That's why I'm making sure I'm protected, and I'm recommending that you do the same. One way to be protected is by diversifying your portfolio. That's why on this channel I've been happy to partner with Lear Capital. As you know, I've been involved in real estate for quite some time. And although I dabbled in gold and silver, Kevin and his staff at Lear have helped to educate me even further, especially in regards to silver. Give Lear a call today and they'll show you how easy it is to move some of your savings or your retirement account into gold and silver. Gold and silver have been proven to hold value and protect wealth for the long term. Call Lear today at 800-601-5430 or go to learberry.com to get your free gold and silver wealth protection guides. There's no obligation, just free information. Many of you have seen my interviews with Lear founder Kevin Demerit, and I can tell you this company is solid and likes to educate their customers. Just so you know, Lear has over 27 years of experience, thousands of 5-star reviews, and over $3 billion in trusted transactions, and is the only company with a 24-hour risk-free purchase. You don't pay unless you're 100% satisfied. So call 800-601-5430 or go to learberry.com. And when you call, don't forget to ask how you can get up to $15,000 in bonus gold or silver with a qualifying purchase. So if you'd like to take advantage of this opportunity, please call my friends at Lear Capital at 800-601-5430 and tell them Barry sent you. All right, so let's continue. So I'm about to introduce you to somebody who goes by. Actually, I introduced you a couple weeks ago. It's a person who goes by the handle on X known as the Data Republican with the small r. This person is an amazing digger. And knows how to data mine and knows how to pull things out. And over the last month, she has been just digging and digging and digging and has become quite the favorite of people who want to know what's going on. And she's exposing so much so that now the left is attacking her. This woman is deaf and I believe mostly blind as well. And so everything you're about to see, make sure you keep that in mind, that she's been doing this and she's deaf and blind. Amazing, simply amazing. She created a tool, and that tool is called let me just bring it up here and see if it shows up. It's called the Data Republican. And some of you guys have been here. It's too big, it's too wide. But the Data Republican is a site that you can go and dig up all this information that she's bringing to the surface. And she's getting access into files. She's working with some of the people in DOGE. And she's really, really digging. I talked about her, it probably was a month ago when all this DOGE stuff first started coming out. And I showed you her site. And, many of you started digging as well. And since that time, things have gone absolutely crazy. Absolutely nuts, to the point where she got doxxed by the left. They're trying to physically intimidate her. She posted this: I have been doxxed. Understand, this woman is deaf and blind, and they doxed her. I have been doxxed. Rather than let others control the narrative, I am addressing this directly. My name is Jenica Pounds. I recently resigned from my job to pursue DOGE-adjacent efforts full-time. She's been digging and has become so successful at what she's been doing that she quit her job and she's going to go work with Elon Musk. While my background check is still in progress, obviously working for the government, my ultimate goal is to work with the administration to cut waste and improve efficiency. When you see what she's been doing, it's going to blow you away. What began as a side hobby became a mission when I uncovered the role of NGOs in these issues. This is not about left or right. This is about us, the people. I gave up everything, my safety, my career, because I believe in what I am doing. And the left is furious, absolutely furious at this young, blind, deaf woman. Let me come back to that for a second. This is supposed to be a party, a group of people who care about those who are, who have issues. She may not even think she has issues because she's so damn good. But this woman is deaf and blind, and the tolerant party of the left is trying to hurt her. Makes you sick, doesn't it? I am 100% deaf and nonverbal. My lack of signing fluency does not make me any less deaf. It is a result of a language impairment related to my autism called expressive dysphagia, which affects my ability to construct language fluently in real time. Those of you who have worked with autists may know what that is. I didn't. I had to look it up, and that's a whole nother show about people who are functional autists and what they can do. This impacts my signing, my speaking, and even writing. Though writing allows me more time to correct mistakes, my interpreter and I spend hours refining my talking points to ensure she conveys what I mean, not just what I say. So as you're going to see over the next few minutes, she is starting to get some major attention. I'm talking network, major people attention. People are like, whoa, hey, this woman's got it. She's got the goods. The Democrats at this point know she has the goods. And how do you react when the person you consider your foe, your adversary at this point, is someone who's vulnerable? You are trying to attack a vulnerable person because you're terrified of what she's finding. Ashley's trying to get her on the show, but you can imagine all the different things you have to do to get her on the show, because you have to work with her and her interpreter and make sure everything is working right. In fact, one of the networks, which you're going to see, she either flew to them or they flew to her because of, everything going on. Just imagine that. Here is a person who's extremely vulnerable, who probably can't protect herself if she's alone. And they're attacking her, and they're trying to incite other people to attack her because she's that good at finding stuff. I am deaf, and being deaf is not and should never be defined by one's signing ability, particularly when there are medical conditions involved. I do not believe the deaf community should be politically aligned with any party. And that's a part that they don't want to hear. If you're finding this information, you might as well be a Republican. You might as well be MAGA. And she's not MAGA. There's an old saying in math: numbers don't lie. Numbers are racially agnostic. True numbers are politically agnostic. I'm pretty sure Tom Cotton is figuring that out right about now. You notice how he got quiet. She's just telling the mathematical story. She's just telling you the data-driven story. If you happen to be falling in the wayside, it doesn't matter if you're left or right, the numbers and the data don't lie. But they don't care about that because you need to shut up. You're hurting our gig here. She goes, a priority of mine has always been on holding the administration accountable to deaf Americans. That's where it started, including advocating for policy changes such as allowing a separate interpretive camera stream on television broadcast. I will continue using my platform to push for these necessary changes. And this got 5.8 million views. She has absolutely exploded. When I first started, reading her stuff, she had like a couple thousand followers. Now she's got hundreds of thousands, I think close to 500,000. And she obviously had to hire an agent because she can't field all the inquiries. She goes, please contact the Sean Hendricks for any media requests, and there's no obligation, but please consider subscribing for a $3 fee. I am not backing down, and I look forward to serving the administration. Now, I told you she was docked, and here is U.S. Attorney Ed Martin, and he has said, please contact me or my office. And she just responded, we have established contact because people are attacking her. Notice the next person who comes in. Next person that comes in is Nicole Shanahan. They only come after you when you're a threat to the system. Keep going. You're doing incredible work. Cat turd. I mean, it's just, at this point, people recognize, I don't care who you snare. I don't care what's in that net. Keep going. keep doing. So anything you guys can do to encourage this woman, I completely want to let you know, do it. This vulnerable young woman who's blind and deaf is being attacked by the left, and they want the worst for her at this point, to where she had to bring in a U.S. attorney, or U.S. attorney contacted her to say, hey, we'll step in. We'll get you some protection either way. All right, so here, even Charlie Kirk chimed in. We 100% have your back. Thank you for all that you do. Onward. This is getting crazy. This one woman now is becoming the focal point of the left. It's no longer Big Boss. It's now Data Republican Jenica Pounds. You're going to hear that name a lot. The media is going to try and destroy her. Don't let them. So let me play you an excerpt of an interview she did with Glenn Beck. Why did that not play?
Oh, yeah. I thought that was kind of funny, because J.D. Vance, in his speech, I thought it was actually really clear, if you believe...
let me just tell you, there's going to be a little lag, as you could imagine, because she's signing to an interpreter. So Glenn, and then the next interview you're going to see, someone's going to say, is the sky blue? And they have to tell her what the question is. So there's nothing wrong with the sound. Sound is fine. You just have to give her time to be told what the question is. Then she's going to answer. And then the interpreter then has to give the person asking the question the answer. So be a little bit patient as she's answering these questions.
Eve, in democracy, that means what? That you don't believe in censorship, right? Everything should be laid out to bear. But suddenly people became offended. And so they're going to Twitter. And I went to Twitter and I started researching the people who were offended, like Anne Applebaum, like you mentioned earlier, for example. She wrote a big, angry article. And then she sits on the board of the NED herself. She sits on the NED herself. For example, former Swedish Prime Minister.
I stand corrected. Mia says she's not blind. Okay, so she's not blind. She's just wearing the glasses, maybe to hide her identity. My bad. I will always accept if I am wrong. She's deaf and nonverbal, but Mia and some other people were saying she is not blind. So she can see. She's just deaf and nonverbal. My mistake. Let's carry on. Okay, let's go.
Carl Bildt. I'm sure you understand. I'm sure you know
Yes.
him. Former Swedish Carl Bildt. He was really critical of J.D. Vance, but then I researched and I figured out that his NGO actually accepts NED money as well.
Hold on. Is that a joke? Somebody goes, I don't know where you got the info that she's deaf. From her. Come on, people. Keep up. Okay? Keep up. I don't want to keep interrupting for stuff like that. That's insane. All right, let's continue.
It's absolutely...
That was interesting.
Yeah.
And I feel like I researched all the people that were criticizing that speech, and I found that all of them have connections to some kind of NGO, are receiving some kind of money, sitting on some kind of board.
Yeah. I will tell you, when I was doing this in 2008, and we were just looking at the Tides Foundation, we found the same players over and over and over again. It's just the same group of names. At least back then it was, and it's beginning to look a lot like that now, too.
Yep. Oh, yeah. You are absolutely right. On my website, you can actually do a bulk name search on my website. You can research 100 names at a time if you wanted to, and you can figure out all the NGOs and where they're sitting and who has power in them. Like I said, this data is available, but keep in mind, Everything on this website is a tool. It cannot be used as a verdict.
Yes. Thank you for saying that.
So DOGE has been all over the news in the past month, and one of the bigger questions is who's really tweezing through the federal budget to identify all that alleged waste and fraud and abuse that's buried in the books? Up to $55 billion worth, if you believe Elon Musk's numbers. So we've heard about some of the tech bro whiz kids who are on Musk's staff, but one of the most zealous and influential crusaders for government efficiency is not on staff. Nor is she a bro. She doesn't even have a profane internet handle. Instead, she goes by the vanilla-flavored moniker Data Republican. And she's gotten the attention of Elon Musk by discovering what she believes to be $100 billion in waste and fraud. How, you ask? Well, she says by using her own AI models to sift through huge amounts of data. Until now, Data Republican has chosen to remain anonymous, but since she's dedicated herself to the cause of government transparency, tonight she's decided to be a little more transparent about herself. News Nation's senior national correspondent Brian Enton just sat down with her for an exclusive interview and joins us now. Hey, Brian, so who is this woman?
Yeah, hey, Elizabeth. Yeah, she's gained quite a bit of popularity on social media, even with Elon Musk. The data scientist is very secretive about her real name being out there and her security, but she agreed to meet me at an undisclosed location. She is deaf, and we communicated through an interpreter. Big picture, with all the databases you're looking at and taxpayer money, how much do you think is being wasted or stolen?
If I had to guess, I would say it's over 100 billion. But what's more important is what they're doing with that money.
The mythical X account Data Republican, shared over and over again by Elon Musk himself, is a real person, a former programmer, now full-time calling out government waste like exposing USAID. How did you get the attention of Elon Musk?
Honestly, I don't know. You'll have to ask him, but I'm grateful. One day, I tweeted what everybody should. I just tweeted what I found, and then he tweeted everyone should follow the Data Republican. My jaw dropped to the floor, and I thought, what, is this real life? But I guess tech people find tech people. I want to be clear, I don't communicate directly with Elon. He found me and supports my work. But I have communicated with some people that are involved with DOGE just on the side. And I don't want to say much more about that, but I have a working relationship.
She goes by Data and uses AI tools to search public databases for waste and fraud. She's been to DC to meet with Elon Musk's DOGE team and publishes all her findings on X and her website. Charity funding, federal grants, non-governmental organizations funded by taxpayers. It's all there. What do you say to people who think that this data, these databases, these numbers have been out there for a long time, that they've been public for a long time, and that it's sort of like a publicity stunt that they're getting all this attention now?
That's just an ignorant assumption. Data does not equal transparency. I am a database expert, a database scientist. I am a kernel engineer, and the numbers do not lie. What I did was I added the index to the book so that people can actually find the awards, what they're looking for. And you have to understand, without AI, this would not be possible because the book is so large, nobody can see.
Hold on, gotta stop there. Just because there's a footnote to this story, as you're hearing right now, she just said, without AI, this wouldn't be possible. Many of the people in our chat, in our community, think that AI is bad. And I've said before, AI is the tool. It's who uses it that may be bad or nefarious. She's using it for good. And she's able to data mine all this stuff. And this guy asked her a typical media question. Well, has this been out here forever? Have you seen it? I haven't seen it. She's put it in complete digestible form. Let's continue.
Down and read the entire thing.
Her next project could be even bigger. investigating and exposing what she believes are corrupt politicians and judges. She posted this weekend, "Still working on the People Connection mega project. This will be my first truly financially high-cost initiative, so I need to get it just right."
So my project right now is to work on analyzing connections and relationships between people in the government, because if you research people long enough, you start to notice that they're all working together. They're all married. They're all in-laws. They know each other. They all sit on the same board for many years. And that's my project, to map those relationships and put it on my website.
She says Democrats and Republicans are both to blame.
I cannot tell you enough how much both are involved. It is everywhere. Now we even have members of Congress. So we have sitting members of Congress that actually sit on the NGOs right now. They vote in Congress for money for themselves, and they sit on the same NGOs that they're voting to get money. It is a
Now can you see why this woman's in danger? She's going to have it coming from both sides. I hope Elon puts a shield around her, because now where she's headed with this data, she's digging in and she's finding this incestuous web of people. The daughters, the wives, the husbands, the children are all getting paid from your money, and she's tying it all together. She's using AI to go look at this NGO, and now look at this judge, and now look over here, and she's putting it all together and compiling it, and they can't stop her. See, that's the thing with the AI. Once you have the ability to get into something, once you can look inside these databases and have access, which is why the politicians were freaking out. Oh, Elon's got access. He's going to take your Social Security number. That's not what they're worried about. They're worried about now what she's about to launch. See, everything thus far that you've heard is just numbers going over here. What we haven't heard was we have numbers that went over here in someone's pocket. She is launching something, probably covertly, not even telling anybody except probably President Trump or Elon and maybe a couple of guys on the DOGE team. And she's going to publish it on her website. This money went here and it came back to XYZ politician. And guess what? He might be a Republican. He might be a Democrat, but she's going to find where the money went, where it landed, whose account it went to, what did they do with it, what did they buy, what stock purchases, all of it. This woman is this woman is probably going to be the most wanted person in America, if not already, with what she can do.
Huge conflict of interest, and it's buried very deep. The numbers don't lie. This is not a partisan issue, and if the American people understood completely what we're finding, there would be outrage across the board.
Are you ever scared? Because exposing things like that, the ways people are making big money secretly within our government, seems like it could put you at risk.
Oh yes, we had to change the way we live entirely, quickly. But you know, sometimes God calls you for a mission, and you must answer that call.
Wanted you to hear that. That summed it all up for me right there. Sometimes God chooses you for a mission, and you have to answer that call. I'm like, amen, girl. Amen. I will keep you in my prayers. Her entire life has been thrown upside down. She has to go to undisclosed locations to talk to people. Strap in, because what we're about to see over the next, how long it takes her to put this together, if they allow her to put it out there. Trump may say, we got criminal stuff. Pam Bondi may say this, I need this information. But just remember what she just said, because that word should go on a t-shirt. Numbers don't lie. Data doesn't lie. people lie. The numbers are going to be correct. You took 30 million, it went to this NGO over here, and it went in that person's pocket. Pray for her, follow her, encourage her, tell her keep going, because she's going to need it. And she's going to need safety. She's going to need lots of prayers, because you can just probably imagine at this point what people are thinking, what she can do. We're talking well past the kind of numbers that make you disappear. Way, way, way back. I mean, you can disappear for 4,000 or 5,000. You're definitely going to disappear for 40 or 50 million. And this goes back way, way back. I mean, Doug Collins was just talking about, well, I just found this, 2 billion. One agency. No, we got another 50 million for the Mozambique condoms. Mind-blowing numbers that they've been stealing from you. And God forbid what is going to happen if Donald Trump opens those doors at Fort Knox and that's not there. What is her website again? Her website is datarepublican.com. datarepublican.com. Here, let me put up her Twitter handle. Her Twitter handle is datarepublican. Hold on, I have it clicked. At datarepublican, and then you can see her website is right here. You're Charlie Kirk, worth following, must follow. Yeah, I'm looking at the people I follow who follow her. She is definitely a must follow. If you want to see what's really going on in our government and how bad things really are getting, definitely follow her. And like I said, if you're a praying person, pray for her. If you're not a praying person, then I can't do it. Oh, good point. Where is that? Somebody just say something. Barry, she's not only at risk here in the USA, she's on the radar on a global scale. This woman, with her vulnerabilities, could have opened up this thing and went, I'm a step away from this, okay? I'm not going to get this far into it because, hey, but she chose to keep going. She chose to say, I can't stop. There's too much stuff here. And I can't, you're absolutely right, Jim. There are people around the world who relied on this grift. That's crazy. Yeah, at Data Republican, that's her handle. I found her on Twitter a couple of weeks ago and followed her right away. Lord, please post your warrior angels around Data Republic and keep her safe to do the work that you called her to do. I couldn't believe that News Nation did that, but nobody even cut that where she's like, hey, God makes the call. Those of you who are Christians, you know exactly what she meant. Hey, God makes the call. I got to answer. You don't say, can you call me back? Yeah, I know you want me to do something. You know what? I'm deaf. How about you fix that? Nope. The call comes, you do it. Call came for me. Strong. I mean, she needs a bunker. Yes, she does. She needs Bongino. Yes, she does. We have a new. And you know what's funny when you see this and you say we have a new American hero. Who would have ever thought that a young woman who is deaf, my fault, she's not blind, whoever thought that a young woman, a deaf young woman, a nonverbal young woman, could be the person that helps save America? You're thinking a big burly person who's going to kick in doors and do all these kinds of different things, and it's a young woman with a computer. And a young woman who knows how to, I mean, she struck Elon. Elon's like, yeah, we need to get you in here. Yeah, yeah. And it's funny because if you notice how the media was portraying big balls and some of the guys, they kept saying, oh, these little 19 or 20-year-olds, and, they got no experience. I don't know how old she is. She doesn't look too old, but I mean, I don't know. Maybe she had a wig on. I have no idea how they were hiding her identity. But it's really interesting is that you can't look down on these young people because they're going to tie you up in knots and they have data. You have no idea. Mr. and Miss Media person who's trying to look down their nose at her. You better hope you're not tied up in some of this stuff, Mr. Media. She is small but mighty. Exactly. Never underestimate a smart woman. Hey, man. Yeah, I know what you mean. She's right out there. God can use anyone. Absolutely. Jesus is at work for all of us. I mean, wow. Is Sean Hendricks protecting her? I think Sean Hendricks is fielding calls and doing the vetting to make sure she's not getting into a bad situation. Because as you could imagine, you just can't email her, hey, can you come over here and meet with me? Well, no. She's just not going to show up and meet with you. We're going to have to get this all set up. We're going to have to make sure there's transportation, make sure she's protected. At this point, she probably, if she doesn't have Secret Service protection, she definitely has Elon Musk protection. And notice she was saying on that thread, she's waiting for her government clearance, so she's probably going to get some sort of protection real soon. Do you have the link for her? Yes. Let me just. I took it down. Hold on. Let me bring it back up again, and keep it there for you. As soon as I got some break. Hold on. Let me get Data Republican again for you because I got some monstrous, earth-shattering breaking news. Let me get Data Republican. Let me pull it up so you guys can see it. This is absolutely, earth-shattering. All right. I know. My phone's going off. Everybody's like, hey, check your messages. I know. I saw it. Here's her link, Data Republican. I'll leave it up here so in case other people come on late and they want to see it. All right. So we got some serious breaking news.
Breaking news into the Fanfare news feed.
This is what you guys have all been waiting for. Bam! Pam Bondi reveals this evening that people will start to see information relating to, I guess we can say it now because it's going to be out in the news, Jeffrey Epstein's flight log files starting as early as tomorrow. That was posted by Monica literally 10 minutes ago or so, 8:35, yeah. It's everywhere. Everywhere. Notice it just says the flight log. Doesn't say pictures, doesn't say videos, doesn't say list or anything like that. First step, the flight logs are coming out. I thought the flight logs were out. Anybody else realize that? Anybody else thinking the same way? That the flight logs have been out for some time? I thought for sure that the flight logs were out. Maybe I could be wrong. Let me see if I can bring this down. There's a video of her talking. Let me download this really quick and bring it in. Hold on one second because she was on television when she said it. Let's go ahead and hold on. All right, so 1 second here. Let me bring it in. I have to do all this stuff. And then you can hear Pam Bondi herself say what she's going to be doing. Okay, I got it. All right, so here we go.
One of the things a lot of people are wondering, because you said last week that you have the Epstein files on your desk, is when can we see them and what's taking so long to release them?
I do. Jesse, there are well over, this will make you sick, 200 victims. 200. So we have, well over 250 actually. So we have to make sure that their identity is protected and their personal information. But other than that, I think tomorrow, the personal information of victims. Other than that, I think tomorrow, Jesse, breaking news right now, you're going to see some Epstein information being released by my office.
What kind? Are we going to see who was on the flights? Are we going to see any evidence from what he recorded? Because he had all of his homes wired with recording devices.
Yeah, what you're going to see, hopefully tomorrow, is a lot of flight logs, a lot of names, a lot of information. But it's pretty sick what that man did.
Okay, well, we'll
along
look for
with his
that.
co-defendant.
So at this point, if you're a independent journalist, that thing went out at about, Jesse Waters' show starts at 8. I'm looking here. It went out at 8:14. So if you're an independent journalist, start heading to private airports, because you might see some celebs and some politicians going on quick early vacations. So, getting the heck out of here. Between everything that the Data Republican is doing, and now she's right behind, the Democrats don't have enough people to plug all the holes that are about to happen. And don't for an instant think that there might not be some Republicans on those logs. Oh boy, oh boy, oh boy, oh boy. I'm going to be busy tomorrow. I'm going to be so busy tomorrow. This is amazing. It's finally coming out. I'm just thinking, I thought we had the flight logs before. Let me ask you guys, have you guys, the flight logs don't mean anything. All it says they flew into the island. Yeah. But everybody has been claiming about it not being released yet. So she's bringing something out. Here we go. It's starting to happen. And the fact that it's starting to happen, she said information that means indictments. And her words were, it's pretty sick. Go back to what President Trump said in that interview. You remember what President Trump said? And President Trump said that it's embarrassing and horrible. It's coming to a person by you. I knew something happened because all of a sudden my phone started beeping and I'm getting messages and I'm like, what? And I look over and go, OMG, this is absolutely crazy. So I also have, I'm going to continue here, but I have some more breaking news for you. This one, it's not as earth-shattering as the Pam Bondi thing, but it is still nonetheless earth-shattering. Let me set this up for you. Where is it? All right, so this one is huge as well. Wait, this is the kind of stuff just in the last 5 minutes I'm showing you that is just going to make liberal heads just, I don't think they can explode anymore. I think we're at the meltdown stage. Just run and hide. This one as well. Commerce Secretary Howard Lutnick just revealed that there are already 250,000 potential buyers for President Trump's gold card. Do the math. 250,000 people willing to pay $5 million is over $1 trillion. No income tax. And I think these people are going to come. These are vetted people. They are going to be great global citizens who are going to bring entrepreneurial spirit, capacity, and growth to America. Ladies and gentlemen, find someone who loves you like Howard Lutnick loves the idea of paying down the national debt. And let's listen to what Mr. Lutnick had to say.
Are they going to be vetted, first of all?
Of course. Deeply vetted, and we said that from the first minute go. These are vetted people. These are going to be great global citizens who are going to bring entrepreneurial spirit, capacity, and growth to America. If one of them comes in, think of the jobs they're going to bring with them, the businesses they're going to bring with them, and they're going to pay American taxes as well. So this is huge money for America.
And how many people are waiting in this line currently?
So there are 250,000 people waiting in line now. If they're willing to pay the $5 million, that's over $1 trillion. That comes directly to $1,250 billion just for that line. And I think these people are going to come enormous ways because they know they can come into America and they can be in the greatest country on earth.
Democrats may never win another election. I've been telling you that. Wow. I got to see what you guys are saying. Wow, how much is that, guys? Over $1 trillion, $1.2 trillion cash. $1.2 trillion. You know what I call that?
We're going to win so much, you may even get tired of winning. And you'll say, please, please, it's too much winning. We can't take it anymore. Mr. President, it's too much. And I'll say, no, it isn't. We have to keep winning. We have to win more. We're going to win more.
Wow, absolutely wow. And here's what I've been seeing as well in terms of some of the people who have been complaining about this. And they keep complaining about it over and over and over. One of the reasons why they're complaining about it is because they're saying out there that Donald Trump has... Now, listen to this argument. This isn't any good because Donald Trump is selling out America. Let that sink in. For the last 4 years, the selling has been by Biden and Kamala. We've been shelling out money to take care of these people, to do everything on their behalf, to make sure they have food, that they have medical, everything. But they don't want to talk about that number, but they want to talk badly about the people who are willing to put $5 million into the American economy each. Oh, these people are so afraid of wealth. They are so afraid of prosperity that they can't even see the idiocy of what they're saying. Just think about that. These people you want in. Oh, you got to bring them all in. All the poor peoples. And we got to give them everything. We got to fly them. We got to feed them. We got to house them. We got to give them clothes. We got to give them ATM cards. We got to give them hotel rooms. We got to give them everything. These people are paying $5 million to come in and love America. This is where I want to be. I'm vetted. And I'm paying $5 million to come in here, and I'm like, time for me to open up a business. And then when I open that business, what am I going to do? Hire Americans. Versus these people who are leeching off of America. Only a moron would look at that contrast and go, yeah, what Trump's doing is bad. Yeah, Trump's bringing in people with money. Oh, God, how can he's bringing in millionaires and billionaires? Yes, and I hope none of you feel that way either. For a family of four, that could be 20 million. How could you have a problem with that at all? What is the Trump administration going to be able to do with $1 trillion of income? It doesn't make any sense why people would have a problem with that. I understand they have to be vetted. Howard Lutnick said they're going to be vetted. They're going to be extra vetted. We're going to make sure these are the best of the best of the best. These aren't people swimming across the Rio Grande with a plastic bag of clothes. These are people who are going to be coming over here in Lear jets, and they're probably going to buy high expensive condos here in Miami Beach and New York. And they're going to spend money at restaurants, probably end up buying a restaurant, just throwing a... The problem is, the left doesn't realize how much wealth is out there, and they don't realize how much wealth would love to be in America. Because they hate wealth, they hate prosperity. And like I've been telling you guys for quite some time about the money, I mean, I mentioned the movie City Slickers when Curly walked in and was trying to tell Billy Crystal, hey, we need to go get the gold, and Billy Crystal, and he's like, bam, and he drops the gold bar and he goes, it's got friends. Remember that? Remember that part of the movie where he drops the gold bar and goes, and it's got friends. You're about to find out real quick. Money brings money. And all these people, they're not people who are used to having to, like, you know, mow their lawn, wash their clothes, drive around. They're going to have to employ many, many people. I bet you they've already done studies and said for every person that's coming in that's about to pay $5 million ante just to show up, how many people they'll need to employ? Bodyguards? I don't know. Think about it. If every person paying $5 million and he's got 250,000 of them lined up, and each one of them needs 2 or 3 employees, you're talking 750,000 new jobs right there. Just by bringing these people in. Pay down debt. No, it's not our effing debt, plus it's all fake. Yeah, exactly. Ooh, here's something. Breaking. DOGE halted a yearly payment of $2.5 million to Barack Obama for royalties linked to Obamacare. The taxpayers won't have to be housing them in our hotels and buy phones at taxpayer expense. President Trump has strength like a buffalo. He does. Let me look here. To me, I thought flight logs destroyed. I don't know. Can you imagine a balanced budget? I can. With what we've been seeing, we can see that there probably was a balanced budget. It's been artificially put into the negative. They've done everything they possibly can to make it look like we're in trouble. And I always thought, from the people I've known and my old boss who flies around in his own jet, I'm like, there's a lot of people with a lot of money. And all you want to do is just soak these people with taxes. And then say that it's never enough, your fair share. And I'm like, what? My fair share? I keep paying and paying. And all you do is try to make me have to pay more. At some point, isn't there a line that says fair share has been met? Nope. So somebody said about the movie, I have not seen that movie in decades. Yeah, go look it up. And I think it's the second one, the Curly's Gold or something. And he puts it on the table. It's got friends. Yes, I think the data Republican is an angel. Absolutely. They will be able to buy houses and employ people. Oh yeah, you remember that. You'll own nothing and be happy. So he says, can you play the clip? I just played the clip. I just played it.
We're going to win so much, you may even get tired of winning. And you'll say, please, please, it's too much winning. We can't take it anymore. Mr. President, it's too much. And I'll say, no, it isn't. We have to keep winning. We have to win more. We're going to win more.
I can't wait to see how the media, we know how they're going to spin it. They're going to say it's bad, and you literally have to be a functioning idiot to even watch their crap. So about being a functioning idiot to watch their crap, I'm going to segue into the top 10, not top 10, but 10 stories that I want to bring you. I used to do this. I'm bringing it back, especially at night, because it's a way to talk about different stories without getting you guys bored. So without further ado, let's go.
Here's the big finish. 10 stories that you just gotta hear. Number 10.
Has a hard time running against Vice President Harris because she's a black woman. You remember, Ashley, when
you see, you're like, Barry, why are you bringing this guy who's talking about stuff back in the election? Well, ladies and gentlemen, this is the president of the WHCA. Barry, what the hell is the WHCA? The WHCA is the White House Correspondents Association. These are the people who are complaining that Caroline Leavitt is bringing new people into the press room. And this is their president. In addition to being their president, he just took over Joy Reid's slot. So this fingernail painting guy is now going to be the new host in Joy Reid's slot, and it's still much of the same. I don't know why you bothered getting rid of Joy Reid if this is where you were headed.
And he would tussle with the women that would ask him questions, our colleagues on the White House beat. Reporters. You know, he held his kind of most angry self for black women, right? If they asked him a question, he would have the worst things to say about them. So you're seeing that, right?
I can think of three off the top of my head.
Top of our head. And when he talked about Joe Biden got worse, Harris was born like that, right? That's different. That's a dog whistle to folks to say, you know, the white guy just got older and it got worse, but the black lady was born dumb. That is the kind of thing that Donald Trump is saying and selling to folks.
Yeah.
Number.
What's the old saying? From the frying pan into the fire. You just fired Joy Reid because she was too much of a flamethrower and race grievance merchant, and you hired the male version of Joy Reid. I just can't. Oh, you hired the male version of Joy Reid. Now, you might know why Caroline Leavitt said, yeah, enough. We're done. We're not going to have this stuff in the White House anymore, okay? So we're going to bring other people in, you know, normal people who aren't painting their fingernails, you know, unless they're, you know, women. What is wrong with MSNBC? They obviously have not learned their lesson.
9.
It's hard to imagine 2 FBI agents ending up in the sit room. How did that happen?
I sent them. Something I probably wouldn't have done or maybe gotten away with in a more organized investigation, a more organized administration, in the George W. Bush administration, for example, or the Obama administration. The protocol, 2 men that...
It's funny, wasn't it? It was real funny. And then all of a sudden, Kash Patel and Dan Bongino are coming after your butt. I'm not sure if you guys recognize, but Pam Bondi just said that this dude's under investigation. So it was all fun and games, wasn't it? You were happy that you set Trump up. You went on a comedy show with Nicole Wallace, basically, to tell people how you set Trump up because, you know, he was new. He didn't know. We're going to send in a honeypot to one of his people. We're going to catch him. I can't wait to talk to General Flynn about this. I mean, he went on tour. He a couple different things here.
All of us have perhaps increased appreciation for over the last 2 years. And in both of those administrations, there was process. And so if the FBI wanted to send agents into the White House itself to interview a senior official, you would work through the White House counsel, and there'd be discussions and approvals and who would be there. And I thought it's early enough, let's just send a couple guys over. And so we placed a call to Flynn, said, hey, we're sending a couple guys over. Hope you'll talk to them. He said, sure. Nobody else was there. They interviewed him in a conference room at the White House Situation Room, and he lied to them. And that's what he's now pled guilty to.
What did he think they were coming over there for?
I don't think he knew. No, we didn't tell him. Just said, sending over a couple of agents. I want to ask you some questions. I didn't have this conversation. My deputy director did. But hope you got a few minutes you can sit down and talk to them. And he said, sure.
Oh, the hunter becomes the hunted. Oh, you set up General Flynn, huh? You thought it was funny telling everybody how you did it to him. It was just a grand scheme. How, you know, I took a shot. Yeah, it was fun. Everybody's laughing. Yeah, it's funny, huh? Funny. How it ain't no funny now. Now it's on you. Now General Flynn's not in the administration, but he's elbow to elbow with Big Donnie, and it's on you, James. And James went on another show.
Number 8.
Are you concerned that it may get a test unlike any other if Donald Trump is reelected? I mean, when you think about a second Trump administration, what do you think the implications would be for the FBI?
Oh, serious, for the Justice Department and the FBI, because Trump is coming for those institutions. He knows their power, and I think he has regrets that he didn't work hard enough to corrupt them last time. So he's coming for them, and that's a danger for all Americans. He's going to put people in positions in those organizations. He didn't have all-stars the last time. He'll have the bottom of the barrel this time, but people who will want to do his will, and that should worry every American. This election matters because of a reason like that. People have to participate. You cannot sit on the sideline. I don't care how you feel about Joe Biden, you must vote for him because the consequences on the other side are too severe.
You know that, right, Jim? The consequences are too severe. You about to meet up with some consequences. You were foretelling your future. I hope they got your jet under surveillance at this point, because you were foretelling the fact of the bottom of the barrel. You were calling Kash Patel the bottom of the barrel, Dan Bongino, bottom of the barrel people. If they're that bad, if they suck that bad, you probably have nothing to worry about. You probably are scot-free because they suck. They're the bottom of the barrel. They're the worst. Don't worry about it. You're good. You're good.
Number 7.
The Trump administration has been about one thing and one thing only. Stealing from all of us. Stealing from regular people. Stealing from poor people. Stealing from the middle class.
These people have no mirrors. Either that or they are like demons and ghosts. They walk past the mirror and they don't see anything. Because the 20 or so sycophants that he's standing around, how could you say that without lightning striking you? That's Chris Murphy from Connecticut, a Democrat. And they're calling President Trump the thief, the grifter. I'm pretty sure President Trump is the only president for quite some time who lost money by becoming president. So explain to me how he's stealing your money.
In order to enrich their billionaire Mar-a-Lago cabal.
That ain't right.
We're not going to let them do it.
No.
We're not going to let them do it. Listen, what is happening inside this building right now is an abomination. Right? An abomination. But you are talking about the most massive transfer of wealth and resources from poor people and the middle class to the billionaires and corporations.
I was just checking my notes. How poor people are transferring wealth. You are seeing the most massive transfer of wealth from poor people and middle class people to billionaires. And I had to check my notes because I think the very definition of poor people means they ain't got nothing to transfer. And none of the people behind... Point of order, Senator. How are the poor people transferring wealth? How can you stand in front of people and say such gibberish and they're all like, yeah, you tell them. Yeah, tell him. And not one of you heard what he said and didn't go, oh, hey. You poor? Yeah, I'm poor. You poor? Yeah. How much you guys transfer last week? I didn't transfer shit. It's the biggest transfer ever. The poor people's, that would be the big transfer ever. Where are they getting the money? Are you giving it to them so that they can get transferred? These people are just completely lost. The poor peoples are transferring the money.
In the history of this country, right? You're talking about $880 billion of cuts to Medicaid. Now, I get it, like $880 billion. Like, what does that mean, right? That's a huge number. Nobody understands. Let me tell you what that means.
It means you're a liar. And the people behind you are stupid. That's all it means. It means that you and Bernie and every other Democrat get out there and try to do everything you can to frighten these people. Meanwhile, people are getting their checks, and some people who had chatted earlier said they're getting their checks earlier than normal. But you're out there saying, yeah, you poor people, you're stupid for transferring all your wealth. You see, maybe perhaps the poor people should have transferred all their wealth and they wouldn't need Medicaid. How the hell are you telling poor people that they're transferring their wealth when they're on Medicaid? I think to myself, am I the only one seeing this? I can't be the only one saying this.
That means that sick kids die in this country. That means that hospitals in depressed communities, in rural communities, close their doors.
Number 6.
It angers me when people are like, this woke stuff, it's got to go. That's telling.
This woman on The View has made a living of saying the most stupid things you'd ever want to hear. But I think this comment, I think it's only like 20 seconds long. I think in this comment, she tops anything she has ever said. This might be the stupidest thing I've ever heard somebody say on television. It's that bad. Oh, worse than the guy who was just telling the poor people transferred their wealth. Yes, seriously.
Me that you don't care about my lived experience. You don't care about the oppression of the LGBTQ community. You don't care about the oppression of the disabled. You don't care about the oppression of immigrants. You don't care about your fellow neighbor. And that is ungodly. That is not Christian. So.
Well, yeah, but you know what the most ironic thing is? They don't care about it, and they don't care about it while wearing big fat crosses around their necks.
Yes.
Well,
yes.
You know what?
Number.
If you don't want your money stolen from you, then you're not Christian. You know, you may go to church, you may tithe, you may do all the right things, but you know what? If you don't let us give the money to the poor peoples in Africa, you're not Christian. And then the other chick behind her, well, you know, but the same people would have a big old cross. You know, they're phony. You know, one thing I learned quite some time ago is don't question someone's religion and don't impugn somebody's religion. But I'm about to do that right now because these people on the left, their religion is DEI. And I'm questioning the hell out of this DEI stuff to the point where you're willing to die on this hill. Here it is, February 26th. And you're telling us we're not Christian because we don't want to give up our money and have it stolen from us. Again, that fair share thing is never going to be defined because there is no definition of fair share. And the only thing that's fair is for you to give till it hurts, give until there's no more. And then once you have no more money to give, then Trump's going to steal your wealth from you.
5.
This really gets at it. Look at this. The party ID among those who regularly use X/Twitter for news. Back in 2022, 65% of those who regularly use Twitter/X for news were Democrats. Just 31% were Republicans. Look at where we are today. Just a completely different picture. Now it's
Thomas Sowell had said a quote. And that quote was, when you're used to being... I forget how it words. I have to find. When you're used to being basically in charge or privileged, having things be equitable means you feel oppressed. You see, back in 2022, they owned it. Elon Musk, as we said earlier, April of 2022, it was a Democrat platform. So they felt entitled. They were privileged. They could say whatever they wanted. But now that it's equitable, they feel oppressed. Oh my God, we got to shut these maggots up. Love that quote by him. When you are privileged, being equitable is like being oppressed.
It's basically split between Democrats at 48%, Republicans at 47%. And what I should note, Mr. Berman, is this new overall makeup matches the overall electorate far better.
Number 4.
It makes a lot of sense, in theory, to go and ask all the employees what they're doing.
right? Elon Musk would say that's common sense. He did this to the then CEO of Twitter before forcing out the CEO of Twitter and taking over Twitter a couple years ago. And I think we should recognize to a lot of Americans, this makes perfect sense, right? Tell us what you did last week. What are your accomplishments? Lots of people are used to doing that in their jobs. Of course, it gets really complicated really quickly when you're dealing with classified information or if you're not checking your work email over the weekend. So I understand it's not the common sense that...
What if you're not checking your work email over the weekend? Okay, there's some people like, hey, I'm off right now, but most of you who have worked a salaried position, you know there's no such thing. See, the people who check out on the weekend are the hourly employees who say, hey, it's Friday at 5 o'clock, it must be happy hour time, I'm done till Monday. A salaried employee, I would almost guarantee you, does not have that same privilege. You're salaried. You don't have a clock per se. And plus you're making $110,000 a year. I would almost say if something happens with the system or something, you should be checking your email at least once per day on the weekend. He's full of crap.
He claims it is. But I think we should understand why people, this appeals to people, why the memes appeal to a lot of people, right? It's actually nonsense, but it sounds like common sense.
Number 3.
Deep in the heart of Los Angeles lies a terrible and menacing monster, born out of the swampy depths of hell and unleashed upon the citizens of the world. A mass contagion of manipulation. It is the woke mind virus, a disease designed for destruction and despair. The woke mind virus thrives on crime and corruption. The woke mind virus wreaks havoc upon unwilling minds, brainwashing fear and unrest throughout the airwaves. Crime, poverty, disaster, despair, all run rampant under the woke mind virus. Local politicians fall prey to the virus's alluring power. Resources are depleted. Peace is abandoned. Leaders retreat in fear. If not defeated, the woke mind virus will spread throughout all of civilization. Only the people can put an end to this menacing malady. Watch and see if Los Angeles can defeat the woke mind virus.
Number.
Oh, that was a Nicole Shanahan special. She put that out, and I was like, "Oh, girl, you just outdid yourself with that one." Oh man, that's too funny. This is hilarious. Yeah, the woke mind virus, missile movies. That's the Nicole Shanahan. She's so funny. Let's continue with these last two.
2.
You can take your mask mandate and shove it right up your. The Karate Man. I never thought I'd have to use it in real life. But guess, reminds me of like the Houseman. Remember Guess Who's Back by Houseman? Geraldo's back. He wants to fight me again. Why does this guy always want to fight me? Why does everybody always want to fight Dan Bongino? Why? Why does everybody want to fight me all the time? Do I have a punchable face or something?
The conspiracy theories, the outrage, the tightness of the T-shirts, all of it surely floats Donald Trump's boat and his music to his ears. It's likely part of the very essence of the reason he was selected.
I saw that and I'm like, oh, you guys are going to love this one. That was a national newscast. That was MSNBC, and that woman was Nicole Wallace. And she just said the reason why Donald Trump hired Dan Bongino is because he wears tight T-shirts. Yeah. First of all, I didn't notice the tight T-shirt. Number 2, she noticed the tight T-shirt, which means you're the one Nicole that was looking at the tight t-shirt, if you know what I mean. Not Donald Trump. People are too stupid. You're too stupid to even... A national television show said that. Donald Trump hired him because he has tight shirts. Yeah.
Number 1.
There's going to be a lot of house cleaning because now we're hearing CIA agents don't like getting DOGE, so they're going to sell state secrets to our enemies. What are we going to do here?
Now, before she continues with this, if you know what's happened over the last 24 to 48 hours, I was talking earlier about that 17th letter person entity who was talking about how, you know, there was a giant cabal of Speedo wearers that were doing some funky things. Well, seems to be that the people in the NSA, CIA, DHA, EBDU, ABC, all of these people in various agencies had a private chat room where they were talking about, yeah, the stuff that everybody else said was conspiratorial. And having very explicit conversations about the stuff that everyone said was conspiratorial. So the leaders of our intelligence community we're having the very same conversations about stuff that will curl your hair that we were told was conspiratorial. And this poor woman, Tulsi Gabbard, had to be the one to open that curtain and go, oh God, what is this? Oh
I am curious about how they think this is a good tactic to keep their job. They're exposing themselves essentially by making this indirect threat, using their propaganda arm through CNN that they've used over and over and over again to reveal their hand that their loyalty is not at all to America. It is not to the American people or the Constitution. It is to themselves. And these are exactly the kind of people that we need to root out, get rid of, so that the patriots who do work in this area, who are committed to our core mission, can actually focus on that. I got to tell you, one of the byproducts of what I just saw literally today is because of this immediate action of transparency and accountability, I have people within the intelligence community reaching out to me personally and directly saying, hey, you need to know about this. You need to look over here. People are stepping forward because they are all on board with the mission to clean house and refocus on our core mission of serving the American people.
I have to believe she's correct, because just imagine you get a job, you're working at some place, and you've been here for a little while, and you know you're chummy with some of your coworkers, and they go, "Hey man, Barry, come here. What? I want you to check this out." Oh, what's going on? Wait till you see what's going on in this chat room. Oh, I've seen chat room. I got a chat room right here. What? Oh. I'm going to go back over here, okay? And then your new boss comes in and you're like, boss, they're doing some freaky-deaky stuff over here. And some of it's freaky-deaky illegal. And I don't know if you want that here. I could see that perfectly happening. Because if I saw some of the stuff that I saw and I was working there, I would be dropping down big time. Big time. Go. And now these people are like, if you fire me, I'm going to give away state secrets. Oh, so you never were a patriot. You never were about anything other than being, you know, a freakazoid. Man, absolutely crazy. They can't sell top secrets. Biden and Son did that already. Oh my goodness, that's so crazy. Oh God, it's crazy. All right, so I'm gonna wrap up with something. I had something that's gonna make you really laugh at the end here. We're almost at the end. I understand it's getting late. It's what it is. It's 9 o'clock. All right, so let me go through a couple different quick news stories for you. This one. Hold on. Let me move that comment because this one's a good one. This is really good. Al Sharpton is calling on every American to join his 24-hour blackout on Friday, which involves boycotting companies that have abandoned DEI policies. He wants everyone not to purchase from stores including Walmart, Amazon, Best Buy, and McDonald's. He even wants people not to buy gas for their cars. I am on purpose going to wait and buy a bunch of stuff on Amazon. I don't eat McDonald's, but I may go and buy a couple burgers and feed it to Midas and Lily. I may go to Best Buy and buy some electronic that I don't really need right now. Walmart, we could go there. I'm definitely going to have to buy some gas. I don't understand who is going to follow this crap. What kind of brain dead person would have to do that? Besides, they don't have any money anyway because all the poor people redistribute their wealth to Elon and Trump. Whew. Insane. Insane in the membrane. George is killing me tonight. Absolutely killing me tonight. I'm not even going to say much other than show this. Why was this hanging in, Jeffrey's wall? You guys remember that picture, huh? Why would you want that on your wall? I'm just saying. Why would you want to see a picture of Bill Clinton in a low-cut dress with red heels? Why? Oh, we're going to see some crazy stuff over the next couple days, week. Just understand. Be ready. Let pray. What does Sean always say? Let not your heart be troubled. It might be troubled with what you're going to see and what you're going to hear. It just might be. It might be troubled. All right. What else? Did George have something else? Now this one is from Ryan Fournier. Now this one, maybe I should hold that one because, this is weird. Ryan Fournier reported this at 2:00. And he said 15,000 IRS employees have just been identified by the Trump administration to be terminated as early as next week. That's like, whoa, that's cool. Except for what just hit. This just hit. The IRS is closing 120 offices across the country. The IRS has announced plans to close more than 120, and this was 56 minutes ago while we've been sitting here. So Ryan's stuff was old. No, it's not 15,000. It's a lot more than that. 120 IRS offices across the country, reducing physical locations from 600. The decision aligns with efforts by the Trump administration to streamline federal operations by downsizing and shifting towards digital services. These closures coincide with layoffs, with the IRS expected to lay off approximately 7,000, primarily targeting probationary staff as part of a broader cost-cutting initiative. April 15th might be a holiday. Hold on. We don't know what's going on. If you're going to sell 250,000 gold cards at $5 million a piece and you're going to bring in $1 trillion, I mean, it's only February. Who knows how many of these things are going to get sold by, I don't know, April 15th. There's a whole lot of something getting ready to happen. Remember, the State of the Union is Tuesday. Don't miss it. We'll be here. We'll be here like all day. I got a whole bunch of interviews actually setting up. One of them obviously is General Flynn. Did I tell you General Flynn's going to be talking to General Flynn? But we got a long way to go to April 15th. Strap in, people. It's about to get fun. Speaking of fun, you knew about the WHCA, the White House Correspondents Association, and how Caroline Leavitt, and the other day when she did the press conferences, some of you guys that were changing things up. Well, they changing it up even further. Reuters, HuffPost, and Associated Press are fuming after all being denied access to Trump's cabinet meeting today. You saw that. Under a new White House media policy, media outlets like Newsmax, The Blaze, and Axios got a front row seat as the administration breaks the old guard's monopoly on press coverage. The legacy media is crying First Amendment violation. But let's be real, this isn't about democracy. It's about losing their special privileges. How could it be about First Amendment when there's a whole room here of people talking about the news? He didn't say you couldn't report. No, he didn't say you don't get to, see anything. You just have to watch it on a screen somewhere. Do what you need to do. You can talk, report. Speaking about reporting, this caused many people to want to jump out windows today. Jeff Bezos, if you haven't heard this, this is incredible. I don't know if I'll read this whole thing because it's long. But basically what he just did was say, we're changing what we're writing about. You don't like it? Step. We'll just go down to this paragraph and let you see this, because this is the meat of it. We are going to be writing every day in support and defense of two pillars: personal liberties, i.e. First Amendment, and free markets, capitalism. We'll cover other topics, of course, but viewpoints opposing those pillars will be left to be published by others. And he goes down further and says, I'm America and for American and I'm proud to be so. Wow, talk about a change of heart. We're going to promote America, we're going to promote capitalism, and we're going to promote free expression. You don't like it? Go write someplace else. And of course, a couple of the editors quit. Oh, it's not about, writing and promoting America. He just exposed a bunch of his people. Down here, let me just, where is it? Right here. This is his editor. Let me just show you this while it goes here. I offered David Shipley, whom I greatly admire, the opportunity to lead this new chapter. I suggested to him that if the answer wasn't hell yes, then it had to be no. After careful consideration, David has decided to jump out the window. This is a significant shift. It won't be easy, and it will require 100% commitment. I respect his decision. We'll be searching for a new opinion editor to own this new direction. The Washington Post, the liberal bastion, one of them with the New York Times. The Washington Post has fallen. It is 9:15 on February 26, and the Washington Post, by the direction of the owner, has fallen. And he expects 100% commitment. Don't like it? Leave. In fact, the line said, if your answer isn't hell yes, then it's no. I don't want anything yes, then an exuberant hell yes, let's do it, boss. Anything less, don't even tell me the answer. The window or the stairs. I don't care which way you go, just go. Explosions. And then you get the guys up north, the 51st state that Trump's trying to get. They're trying all kinds of stuff up there. One person's talking about let's get nuclear countries to work against Trump and all kind of crazy stuff. And then this guy who's like one of the Ayatollah Assaholas or whatever he is, he goes, oh, Canada, Canadian leaders telling President Trump he's not welcome at the G7. The G7 hosted in Canada. Perhaps Jagmeet Singh should apologize or the G7 will be moved to Mar-a-Lago. So the G7 is supposed to happen in Canada. And this idiot's like, well, you're not welcome here. Okay. I bet you if I do something down here, they're all coming with me. What an idiot. He's letting these people expose themselves for being the idiots that they are. Absolute idiots that they are. It's simply amazing. Crazy what's going on. And one thing you have to remember, and I'm going to make sure you guys understand this moving forward, the stuff that's happening with that list and those people, there's no hiding from that. As George says here, the statute of limitations does not expire for crimes against, it's like two, I think, treason and crimes against humanity. Yes, the Lear jets may be flying real soon. I mean, it's getting that bad. Enlarge that big tent. Oh, yeah, absolutely. Bezos. Yeah, who would have, somebody goes, who would have thunk? Who would have thunk that Jeff Bezos would be telling everybody, America first. America first. Crazy. Frauds getting exposed. You guys are seeing it. It's absolute. This is all. What's your name? Yvette. Yvette, when I'm putting these shows together, I look at it and I talk to Robin. I'm like, Robin, if I don't have, because she asked me, she goes, why do you have so many cuts and why do you have so many tweets? Because if I just say it, remember, I want you to remember this. Some of you guys affectionately refer to me like the next Rush Limbaugh. And I think to myself, Rush, salute, best ever. But Rush never had to do it like this. Rush would get on his microphone and say, blah, 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 blah. I feel compelled to have to prove to you because, like Yvette says, this is nuts. If I just said it, hey, Jeff Bezos today said that, everyone's going to have to be pro-America, and if you don't like it, get the hell out. You're like, nah, Barry, there's no way. Hey, I want you to let you know that Nicole Wallace said that, Dan Bongino got hired because he wears tight shirts. I would tell you a few of these things, you're like, man, this dude is just making stuff up. Just making stuff up. Hey, there's this blind woman. I said blind and deaf, but she's actually just deaf, and she's about to save America. You're like, Barry, how's a deaf woman gonna save America? Well, she's really good at computer stuff. Nope, had to let you see it. Yvette, you're so right. It's so crazy. There's so many things that are just like, I can't even believe it. Oh, Barry, this was a fantastic show. Thank you, Al. Now I'm going to close. I got to come back and do super chats, but I have one more video to you. 3 minutes. And Donald Trump, he knows he's being an epic troller. He knows he's making these people chase their tail. And he can literally put anything out, and it's end up going to be on CNN or MSNBC. Oh my God, they don't even realize he's joking. They don't even realize he's poking fun at them. Watch this video, and you'll see what I mean.
So late last night, President Trump posted what appeared to be an AI-generated video on his Truth Social account. It's basically a promotion for his plan for Gaza, which is to essentially turn the enclave into a lavish Gulf resort. Here's part of that video.
Tunnels coming to set you free, bringing the light for all to see. No more tunnels, no more fear. Trump Gaza is finally here.
I had to stop it right there because you probably didn't know that the slinky chicks that were dancing and stuff, yeah, they had beards. Wait, let me see if I can rewind it so you guys can see it, because a lot of people missed it. Hold on. They got beards. so whoever made it for them, they're like, yeah. Put some belly dancers in there with beards. That'll really set them off.
Trump Gaza is finally here. Trump Gaza shining bright, a golden future, a brand new life. Feast and dance, the deal is done. Trump Gaza, #1.
Let's discuss with Kevin Barron. He's a national security analyst and former executive editor for Defense One. Kevin, thanks so much for being with us. What did you make?
So understand what happened. Trump puts that video out on Truth Social. Outrageous, funny, bearded ladies dancing, people spending money, having a good time on a rebuilt Trump Gaza hotel sitting there, obviously joking. And these people created an entire segment to refute it. They used their precious airtime and gave President Trump 3 minutes of their broadcast show telling him, this is really bad. I can't believe he did this.
Of this video.
I mean, how many times do we have to see something like this where it would be comical if it wasn't so serious and so exhausting? These images just, they shock you and then you laugh and then you go, what are we doing and where are we living? And in a time where, as the previous segment just showed, the hostages are being released, we're supposed to be getting to a new ceasefire phase, we're supposed to be getting toward some kind of future for this region. The Saudi defense minister was just at the Pentagon this week as well. So there are these enormous security concerns concerns going on. And this kind of video just does nothing for American security or regional security. But it does show where Trump's head is, right? It shows he's calling himself King Trump. He's putting out images of him as a giant idol in the middle of Gaza that looks like Vegas. I'm not sure what to say.
It reminds me a bit of when he went to meet with Kim Jong-un one-on-one, and he apparently showed him a trailer of what North Korea...
They're serious. They brought this guy on who's a security expert, and, well, you know, it doesn't really do anything for everybody. And, you know, it causes problems with
waterfront property would look like. He obviously views things very much from the perspective of a real estate tycoon. I do wonder, though, how this sort of video lands with Palestinians, those who support Hamas, those who don't support Hamas and want to find peace. Is this the kind of thing that just generates animosity?
I wonder too. I wonder how many see it actually. I mean, who's watching Trump's Truth Social account out there right now? I think
you kind of wrong time to be asking that question. You know, who even seeing this? Well, obviously CNN saw it. CNN saw it and thought, hey, this would make a great idea for a segment to talk about Trump making fun of Gaza.
If you think of it as what it would take to get to something like this, go back to his original statements when he mentioned this. He was, giddily saying, just saying, we're going to expel all the Palestinians and rebuild this area to make it look, to what these images look like. And then he sees it and he, promotes it, just like he promoted a picture of Time magazine for himself. Look, he's called himself King Trump in recent days. He's portraying himself as a savior for these areas, not for the Palestinian people, but like you said, because he's a real estate tycoon. He sees a business opportunity. We know there's family connections that would be involved in this. Yes. There are people that think this is smoke and mirrors, this is ridiculousness, this is never going to happen, focus on things that are more serious. But I think in the security world, this absolutely matters, because why would anyone in that region who was serious about the future of Palestinian peace or the Palestinian prosperity think anything other than this is absolute absurdity?
I can't with these people. These people just, we don't have a media. They don't understand. What was it, the big saying everybody used to say? The left can't meme? No, they can't. The left can't meme. They have no idea what the hell's going on.
We're going to win so much, you may even get tired of winning. And you'll say, please, please, it's too much winning. We can't take it anymore. Mr. President, it's too much. And I'll say, no, it isn't. We have to keep winning. We have to win more. We're going to win more.
Oh my goodness. These people get on television and say the stupidest thing. And obviously somebody put in here, they missed the bearded ladies. I mean, it's obvious he was trolling. Making a Vegas-like video with Elon throwing dollars in the air, and then the slinky bearded lady, and you have a whole segment on your news play. Oh, this man, I mean, we don't deserve him. We're so not worthy. We're so not worthy. I don't know how you get to be hosting major summits and having cabinet things until late at night going, oh, they're going to love this. Boom. Oh, I just wonder, is it Barron? Does Barron come to him? Dad, wait till you see this one. You got to put this out. Oh, Barron, I shouldn't put this out. Some people are going to, oh no, this is pretty good. Other guy, what did he say? What about the Arabs who are going to see this and they might be offended? Then they're idiots too. I mean, do these people not watch any whatever? There's really no comedy on television. You think about it. Sitcoms are gone. You got to go back and watch old episodes of Seinfeld or Carol Burnett or something, or Blazing Saddles. Because you can't find anything on television. Honey, I just got done with a 3-hour broadcast. Can we just sit down and just find something to laugh? Nope. There's nothing here. All right, then go to like Amazon Prime and find something we can just relax with. You ever notice how... And then they end up putting on the flipping Minions. They make me laugh at it. I loves me some Minions. Oh, I've been to every single one. Just to let you know. I've been to all the Minions movies. I find them hilarious. I love it. But you just want to laugh sometimes. You just want to have a good time. There's so much serious stuff going on in the world. Speaking of serious stuff, something did just pop up on Twitter that I want to show you. This is Anna Polina Luna after she just found out what Pam Bondi released. I may have to turn the volume up on this one. Let's see. Okay, let's listen.
Should be held accountable for the terrible things that they've done. So that's a big win. Obviously, you guys know we've been tasked to head up, and actually Brandon Gill's here. He's actually heading up the task force on declassification. Although we don't hold declassification authority, we are going to be investigating everything that is released and declassified from the White House. So Epstein's going to be on there, also looking into JFK, RFK, MLK. And so we are very happy. This is a huge win, not just for our task force and for Congress, but I think for the entire country. And again, kudos to Bondi and Trump and everyone that's worked so hard to make that happen. So it's very historical. I'm very happy that I got to get that fact checked by ALX because frankly, everyone who would have been tweeting about it was here. So that was pretty breaking news. But again, if you guys need anything, look, we're here to serve you. I can tell you that as far as we're concerned.
All right, so that's out right now. It's all over the place. She's happy after getting that stupid letter. So it got cleared. Something's happening tomorrow. So we'll have lots of stuff to talk about tomorrow. A lot, because I'm sure everybody, well, we won't hear it too much on CNN or MSNBC. They will undoubtedly ignore it, which means you got to tune in, because if you're going to hear the information, you're going to have to hear it from an alternative media source. I would hope Caroline Leavitt does a press conference tomorrow. That would just be awesome. Or Trump himself. Somebody come out and do a press conference. All right, so it is the night, and with it being the night, I have to gladly give away 3 hoodies. So let's go ahead and do that real quick, and give away 3 hoodies. Hold on one second, and here we go. Which window? Okay, this window here. This will work. And all right, so we're ready to go. Let's go with 3 hoodies. First one, Vera Johnson. Vera Johnson, congratulations. We'll pick another one here. Dan Couts. I believe that's how you pronounce it. Dan Couts, congratulations. And did it come up? Oh. Evie DeWert. Evie DeWert. Had to make sure I was pronouncing that correctly. All right, congratulations to each of you. Thanks for playing, as they say. And you guys win new hood. Oh, the drum roll. My bad. I forgot to click the drum roll. I'll play it right now anyway. You know why? I'll tell you why I forget to play it. Is because after I play the last video, I take the headset out of my ear and I don't put it back in, so I don't realize that I'm not playing it. I have to keep it in. I'll have to keep it in next time. Let's go ahead and do Super Chats. I hope you guys enjoyed tonight. I wanted to do it a little bit different. You guys seem to like the 10, those 10 stories. It's an easy way, not easy, but I mean it's a lighthearted way to go through some stupid stories that are out there and share those with you and give you my opinion about what's going on. So I'm glad you guys seem to like that. It's fun for me too because I always figure, man, there's so much to talk about. How do I just find a couple good stories here? And I'm like, well, if I just take 10, 12 clips and put them in, then we can talk about those 10 or 12 clips, and then inevitably something happens during the night. All right, so Fume Drummer, REF, today's poll, Rush barely had guests, took minimal listener calls, and was successful speaking the truth and providing aspirations and optimism. Like you. Thank you very much. But like I said, Rush was one on radio for the most part. And number two, this is the call you out and fact check your world. You saw how fast I got fact checked by saying that the woman was blind. Data Republican. I was wrong. She's not blind. She's deaf and what was the term? Nonverbal. So yeah, he didn't worry about that. I have to worry about that. Tommy, hello. Hello, my friends. Hello, good to be alive. Yes, no, yes, it's good. I'm going to make it. Maybe still rocking. Tommy's had some really good videos. I saw him play the Bohemian Rhapsody. Awesome. Very awesome. Mel Porter, thank you. True Texan, Sophie Burrell is the guitar lady. Yes, she is. Sunflower Heart, thank you. Sandra Mass. Glenn Beck reported the death of a Brownsville, Texas rancher by an IED explosion. Yep. They won't play. They're not going to report that. Tim McCurry, fanfare family prayers for Kat Timpf. Oh, in case you guys hadn't heard, Kat Timpf, who's always on Gutfeld, she's having a baby. Well, she had the baby, and then they told her, oh, by the way, I got some bittersweet news for you. Your baby's fine, but you're going to have a double mastectomy because you have breast cancer. And I'm thinking, you're at the height of excitement, and, I mean, they couldn't have waited a day? Unbelievable. Mr. Anderson, the problem is Republicans are in this mess, too. Yep, you know it. You know it for sure. Absolutely, they're gonna get wrapped up in it. Thornton Maloney. Maybe it turned out they have some friends on that list. Just saying. Georgie Yount. Rachel Maddow is an unelected official. Please let her know. Ed Powell. Thanks, Barry, for all your hard work. Can't wait to see you in the Oval Office. Keep up the good work. Thank you. Mr. Anderson. Obama getting royalties. Yeah, that's crazy. Like he owned it or something. Hey, Tommy. I got many hearts from y'all. But one guy told me to lose the hat, my Trump hat. It's why I do guitar videos for y'all. He's a troll, my first love. I know people ask me, what about my hat? I'm like, yeah, my hair's not combed, but you know, there it is. There it is. There's the dome right there. I just get comfortable wearing it. See, I have hair. You guys think I didn't have hair? I got hair. It's there. 3 steps to money laundering. Placement, laying your bills, NGOs, politicians. Bingo, Drew. Tim McCurry, I get impatient, then I remember God's chosen man as president. God's man, God's time, God's vengeance. Crooks, liars, and reprobates gonna find out. Kent Fish, money distributed around the world by deep state governments is purely to give foreign entities the power to destroy Western free societies. Well said. Tina Fava Bean, thank you. America Ramirez. Hey, Barry, wanted to let you know about The Chosen. It's about Jesus' life. It's beautiful. I will recommend it. Oh, yep, I've seen it. Very good. One of Ashley's favorite shows as well. Robert Husbands, how do you fix brainwashing? I mean, at this level, I don't know. There's so many of them. Miss Fabulous, thank you, Barry and team. I sent you an email. Yep, I saw it. Didn't have the time to look at it, but I saw it. And I will reply. Maga Mama, thank you, Barry, Robert Ashley, Mod Squad. God bless the USA. Just wanted to let you know that SV has been on vacation. I think he's come back tomorrow. But Severo, Ashley, Beth, and Roaring Rage, and Tommy Lawrence all pick up some serious slack. Thank you. Steve James, thank you. Whoever's doing their polls must be the same ones that said Kamala was going to win in a landslide. Yep. You're doing a great job, Barry. Watch here every day. Thank you very much. Patras, freeze all accounting to USA like Pelosi, too. Tilly, thank you, Barry, for everything you do, and also your lovely wife for sharing you with us. Thank you very much. I can't wait to go out there and spend some time. Glenda Cruz, Barry, they hate anyone they can't control. It does not matter their disabilities. How? That young woman who has her vulnerabilities and you want to dox her? I'm thinking, hold on, let me just talk to you about that. The fact that this guy doxed her, what were you hoping to see happen? You know, normally when they dox somebody or they swat somebody, they're trying to have something bad happen to them. And you're telling me that this young, smallish woman who's deaf and nonverbal is so much of a threat to the left that they're willing to try and send the orcs after her. God help us. I mean, seriously, God help us. And please, God, protect her. Yeah, she doesn't deserve that whatsoever. That's insane. What's her name? Her name is Jenica, like Jessica, but Jenica Pounds. Jenica Pounds. And I'm not doxing her. She actually came out and said it. Tim McCurrigan, it's worldwide, but America is the epicenter. The battle has just started. The war is far from over. Pray, pontificate, plan, and prep with your pew-pew. Think about that. If they're willing to do that to a woman, a woman who all men should understand, we need to protect women and children. And the person that doxed her was a man. Sad, sad. Grandma Lynn, the Father uses the least to do the most. Protect her, Father God, in Jesus' name. Amen. Yes. Robert Husband, it's always a few that protect the many. Agreed. Lynn Geldmeyer, dynamite comes in small packages. Cynthia Russell, President Trump should move her into the White House to protect her. I'm sure she's being protected now. And once she put out there that she's going through the background check, they probably have guards around her. Figures don't lie, and liar never figures. Exactly, Michael. Tim, data Republican may be the most important despised person in the world, a true blessing that needs to be protected, one of God's true miracles. Isn't it funny how they went from attacking big balls to now attacking the data Republican? Ruth McCurdy, she broke the Enigma code. Yeah, she did. Just another Nickelhead. Tip jar, you're bringing the good news. Very awesome. Thank you. Thank you, Knucklehead. Rios family, this by far so has been a great year. Thank you, Barry, for all your work. Thank you for watching. Eric McCarthy, thank you. KRO, brother, the left has a communist mindset. You own nothing. You're a slave to the state. Only the state workers have wealth. Oh, no, the poor people had wealth, but they all gave it away to Trump. They took it from Eric Parks. God bless you, Barry. My application for a freak conductor is on the next step. Okay, congratulations. Eric Hartman, Barry, thank you again for your outstanding news updates. Need to find these corrupt people and jail them. Yes. God bless America. Thank you very much. Barry, I'm scared of billionaires right now. We had a hell of a scare with billionaires pushing commie and socialism. Soros, Klaus, they have followers and partners. I'm scared to bring outsiders in. Put money aside and think about their intentions. 1, pray. 2, trust Trump. That's, I mean, obviously, God first, pray, and then trust Trump. Trevor Norse, thank you. When Jim Powell, thank you, Barry. I haven't ever seen $1 million. Does that mean people have that many millions? 5 million. 5 million to come here. Phoenix 10, 1 trillion from gold cards. 500 billion from Ukraine, resources from Greenland, income from tariffs, and DOGE saves 1 trillion. Could we be in a surplus? I have felt for years that it was all BS, that we weren't that far under, that we were being forced to be that far under, to make it seem like we needed more of your taxes. You know, it'd be very hard if we weren't in debt and we had a surplus to keep telling we need more taxes. And so I always thought it was orchestrated. Jeanette, did MSNBC just get rid of Joyless Read All Over the Place with Daisy Bay? Yes, they did. Yes, they did. Demon of Cybertron, I can smell the jet flu. Oh, it's getting ready. It's fueling up those jets. Iris Bolin, winning! More winning. Eric McCarthy, Barry, your quote of the day, it means you're a liar and the people behind you are stupid. Yeah, exactly. Thanks for all you do. Thanks for watching. Mr. Anderson, as per Baron Trump, red folder in play. Shanarella, I put everything off till Friday when I heard that earlier this week. Shopping spree. Yep, I'm just... You're expecting the people who have no money to boycott stores. That's a great protest. Oh, what are you protesting? Mirror Wolf, they still haven't learned sarcasm is Trump's middle name. I love that video, especially the bearded ladies. You're going to stay for the judge that said or else. What? You're not gonna. I don't. Thank you, but I don't know what you're saying. Sarah Brierly, Barry, your best fantastic show I watch every day from New Zealand. Thank you for keeping the world informed. Thank you for watching long distance. Maga, where'd that go? Maga Mama, thank you for all the wonderful laughs tonight. So awesome. I can't wait to visit Maga Gaza. Neo, thank you, Barry, for bringing the laughs and news. You know, if we can't laugh, we got to be able to laugh and have fun. We got to. These people are so crazy. You can't help but laugh at them. I didn't know that news would be a comedic expression, but that's what they've turned it into. Great job, Barry. Work from home. Love DOGE. Absolutely. Tilly, thank you. Susan Evangelo, great show. Thank you very much. And Ken, I will publicly promise right now in front of everybody, I will send you an email tomorrow. I promise. I'll get that email to you. All right, that is everybody. Thank you guys for tuning in. I had a lot of fun. I hope you guys had some fun. Great show. Thank you. Maga Gaza, the next Dubai. Yeah, that would be funny. That would be funny. Dwayne Schellenberger said, I've never worked for a poor man. But that's because they gave all their wealth away to Donald Trump. Man, all right, everybody. I want you guys to have a good night. If you guys want to hang out and to the after party video, you're more than welcome, and we'll see you tomorrow.